Today we are going to speak about environmental justice and the concepts within a discussion of the various conceptions and discourses. Environmental justice for me means, in particular, the two concepts, environmental justice and environmental racism, in its own manner, how it was defined in the past struggles in the United States, but by differentiation of these concepts. So environmental justice means the social distribution of environmental burdens and environmental goods. This means in particular that the distribution is socially indicated, meaning that people which are socially deprived, suffering more from environmental burdens and have less access to the environmental goods such as internet access, fresh air, good water, to be continued. The second part, environmental racism, to me is a weak concept because it focuses only on the migration background or ethnic discrimination, where we at the same time find a lot of different types of discrimination in the society, such as age or gender or lookism or location where you live, in terms of like close to metropolitan areas or far away from that. So I would say that the second concept has to be further defined, further clarified, in order to include every type of possible discrimination we see and face in our society and in different societies in the world. So for me, the environmental justice concept contains the critique on the existing system environment insofar that we see an institutional construct that disadvantages a certain groups of people by the way how the system is designed. In order to change the system in a way that discrimination and environmental burdens are not unequally distributed or unequally distributed as it is now, it would mean that we have to rethink the way how the system is designed and how we distribute and define the environment. So beside the question on justice, which would mean like to better procedural and distribution justice, we would also have to think about the concept of environment. And environment to me means the place where the people live, work and act. So I understand environment in two ways, in either a social environment and a biological environment. But the biological environment in terms of pollution or fresh air, to name the two concepts of environmental beds and environmental goods, are only manifested in the social world. So if people live in a certain area and are affected by unproportional high distributed environmental burdens, this is an environmental concern. This is an environmental concern for these particular people, and this is their face, their way how they perceive the environmental problem. And this needs a local solution, but we also must always face the global solution to it, because there's kind of a social constructed environment which we all face. We can call this the economic system or the institution or the political system, but it's all in one. So we need to analyze this, we need to understand that the system is not just here, it's not just in the world, it is designed by people, it is designed at the end by agents of impairment, people that profit from this type of distribution. And I think it is a major concern of transdisciplinary research like environmental justice research to reveal these agents and to reveal also other types of research which is done in the field of environmental justice nowadays. This means in particular that we have a lot of other concepts which are included in the concept. When I speak about Germany, for example, we use the term of Umweltgerechtigkeit or umweltbezogene Gerechtigkeit. Another term is ecological justice or ökologische Gerechtigkeit in Germany, which claim to do research also in the field of environmental justice, But for my personal opinion, I don't think that this is the same, because they try to focus on certain types of cultural understanding by saying, for example, like environmental racism is not a thing in Germany, has not the same role as it has in the United States and in Canada or Brazil, for example. The same applies to Brazil as well, for example, like they say justiça ambiental is a Brazilian concept developed in Rio de Janeiro, and in the north it's very different, we call it differently. But I would say there's a general concept behind all these discussions which makes a differentiation possible and necessary. And for me, there is no need for an environmental justice concept that does not include the various discriminations and does not see various discriminations as part of the system in which we are living. And therefore I ask for a more critical view on this concept. I think without a critical view on the existing environmental debate, environmental justice as a concept has no right, will not stand for long. Because now, as environmental justice became more famous than years ago, we see that a lot of lobby groups, environmental groups, start being interested in filling this concept with certain opinions, with opinions which already exist in the world. So, like, we use environmental justice for something we already found in sustainable development debates, in sustainability debates, in biodiversity and climate change debates, but we don't really define something new. And so I think the critical part must refer to a critique on the existing mainstream research which is done in the field, which, for example, just tries to analyze the institutional frame of the environmental problem, saying like, oh, we need a new paragraph here and we need a new paragraph here. Or accommodative research, as John Dreisig wrote in his article on policy analysis as critic. Accommodative research, which just tries to find a solution for a certain institution, mostly done due to funding restrictions. I think this type of research does not really help environmental justice to become an important concept, because this type of research is already done. This already has a place, and environmental justice should be a concept that criticizes this type of research and reveals those which do research in the name of environmental justice, just framed by a certain student. So if in this whole conception, I think that environmental justice is attractive, is very important, and is transdisciplinary by nature, and more transdisciplinary than most of the other researches we see, because it grasps a part of kind of neglected, ignored research areas that focus on the local perspective of people in an uprising way, critically referring to the frame of the world we are living in, understanding that the world is designed by a Protestant ethic worldview, to refer to Max Weber. By a lot of these ideas, we can try to frame the world in a more multiple, and in a way that it reflects more the multiple views that we have, to show the contradictions in the world, and also to show the role of environmental justice as a solution tool to this problem.